Becky, my channel's What Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. Today's vlog is Friday Sews, where I'm here to talk about what I've been up to with you. I hope you're all well, I hope you're all happy, and I hope you've all had plenty of time to sew. It's been a couple of weeks since you last saw me. I have had an incredibly busy few weeks, and not on purpose, just didn't get a chance to film last week. I had a funeral on Friday, which took up time, and I've been in the office a lot. And I think by the time I got to Friday and was hoping to film, I was very quickly whipping something up, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. So that's why you've not seen me for a couple of weeks. But before I go into what I've actually been sewing, there's a couple of things I need to do. So I need to say a massive thank you to those that have bought me a coffee recently on my Kofi account. I have had a couple ping through over the last sort of month or so, and then I keep forgetting to say anything. So I know that Lisa, I know that Annette, I know that Jean, and I know that Janet have given me a coffee recently. So I just massive thank you to you guys. And I think, and Anne, I don't want to miss anybody. So if anybody else has in that time, just a massive thank you. It's always a nice surprise when you get a little Kofi come through or a Kofi notification to say that somebody's bought you a coffee. It's just that whenever I get bought a coffee, it's usually at the beginning of the week and not when I film. So I always forget to say it. So I don't do it on purpose, and I do appreciate it. So thank you so much for those of you that have bought me a coffee. The other thing I want to say a big thank you for is for all of those that have purchased from Jazz and Wow recently. I put up a new collection which I shared with you guys last week, and or 2 weeks ago now, and I've had lots and lots of orders, and I have fulfilled them on a number of occasions, and then they very quickly crept back up. So if you are waiting on an order and it's been done in the last couple of days, that will be posted out this weekend to you. So thank you for that. Now to talk about what I'm wearing, and then I'll go into what I've been making. So I am wearing a very old dress of mine. It's an oldie but a goodie. This is the Tilly and the Buttons Freya dress from the book Stretch. If I can find the line drawings, I'll pop them in here so you can see them. This is a knitted dress out of this, and I can never get this word right. I want to say farisle, that kind of fabric. I love this kind of fabric. I got this from Pound Fabrics. I can't remember how much it cost, but I do remember at the time it was only a couple of quid. It wasn't massively expensive, and this comes out year after year. Now I will actually pop a picture in from when I first made this up and wore it, because my hair was a lot shorter. I had a lot more weight on me then as well, to the picture that I took this morning, so you can just see the transformation over the last few years. But it does keep coming out, wearing it time and time again, and I absolutely love it. I had a conference to go to today, and when I got up and took my mum for I took my mum to work. I take my mum to work at 5 o'clock. It was so frosty and so cold that by the time I got back, because I am one of those people that goes out and takes my mum to work in her pajamas at 5 o'clock in the morning, when I got back I was like, I need to wear something warm and cozy, but something appropriate for the conference. And I have paired it with a pair of Jazz and Well earrings. These are my Shooting Stars earrings. These are actually the silver versions. I never put these on the shop because they sold out in my pop-up shop before they had a chance to go on the actual shop. I had them in gold, but I think I'm going to make some more because I do like these silvery ones. I think they're very pretty, and I'm a silver kind of girl. So that's what I'm wearing today. What have I been sewing? Let's talk about in order of what I made up actually. So I very quickly whipped up a dress for the funeral that I attended last Friday. Now I had ordered something ready to wear. I don't ever go for ready to wear very often, but I'd ordered something ready to wear and it didn't turn up in time, so I ended up cancelling that order, and on the Friday morning going, I have nothing black to wear. Now the funeral that we were going to was very much a close friend of my partner. She was our local landlady from one of our very local pubs, and he's known her his majority of his life as he's been growing up since they've owned that particular pub. I have obviously had the luxury of getting to know her for the past 7 years that Scott and I have been together, and she was a fellow sewist, so we had a lot in common, which was quite nice. Very scary lady unless you actually knew her. So I knew that because she was quite traditional, I really wanted to wear black, and I don't have a lot of black in my wardrobe. So my boss kindly offered to lend me a dress, but she lives half an hour away from me, and to travel over to her and travel back on the actual Friday wouldn't have been practical. And I knew that I could probably whip something up in 45 minutes. And I had like a black rib knit fabric that I'd purchased from Neil's Fabrics in Milton Keynes. So Neil's is like a fabric shop thing, but it's on a market. It's usually got these great big buckets that sit outside, wooden buckets, and they're all full of fabrics, and they're offcuts of like, they range between 2 and 5 meters, and they're £1 a meter. And I picked this rib knit fabric up from there a very long time ago, and I think I paid like £4 for the fabric. So I had that. I knew that that was washed and that I really wanted to use that, and I thought I'll make this. So I was looking through the box that has all my old patterns in that I've either not put away. It's like a box of havoc basically, and I couldn't find these pattern pieces for this particular dress, but I did come across the Seasons of East Summer in New York dress. Now this is traditionally a woven pattern, and I was missing a pattern piece, which was why it was in there. It was actually the back pattern piece that I was missing, but given how the front's constructed, it's not that different. And I knew that because the front is cut in two and it's got a slight curve, and it is a very slight curve, I knew that if I'd gone from the centre piece that comes here upwards and just cut that on the fold, I'd have the back piece and it'd fit me just fine. And that's what I did. I whipped that up so quickly. Yeah. Because I've seen Sam from Sequin Girly Creates make so many of these in knit, I knew it could be done in a stretch fabric. Now, what I would say, if I was to make this again in a knit fabric, I'd probably go down in size. I grade from a 12 out to a 16 actually in this pattern anyway, in the woven. So I think I could definitely go down in the and not grade, so literally go down and then probably use the stretch of the knit to attach to the skirt. But I thought that this looked brilliant. I'll pop a picture in here of what it looks like. Now, considering this was done quickly, I mean, I actually used red overlocker thread because that was what was on my overlocker, and I didn't want to waste time changing my thread to black. And it held up because it had that rib. It was beautiful, didn't need to be hemmed. I'd used my rotary cutter, so it was all cut straight, so it looked really nice. And I did have a black coat over me anyway, but I do think it turned out quite well. Obviously there would be a few changes if I was doing this properly that I would make, but I did whip it up. It was very wearable, and I even had compliments on it. So yeah, that was what I wore for the funeral on Friday. The next thing that I got sewn up is the Marnie Blouse by Tilly and the Buttons. So Tilly and the Buttons, she brought out a couple of years ago now a Marnie pattern, a blouse pattern that had lots of different options of frills and pin tucks and stuff on it. It's a very oversized kind of pattern. It's designed to be very sort of flouncy, and it can be made in a variety of fabrics, and depending on the fabric that you make it in depends on the look that you're going to get. So if you use a structured fabric, you're going to get a very crisp structured look. If you use a viscose fabric, it's going to obviously look a lot more sort of drapey and elegant and flowy, and probably not feel like you're wearing as much of a tent. Now, I typically like a drapey look, but I have now made, because this is the second one that I have made in a structured fabric, and because I tuck it in to my trousers when I wear it, I love the way that this looks. I am really a big fan of this pattern. I've made it probably 4 or 5 times now. Hopefully I've showed you a couple of different versions of the looks of a drapey versus a structured, because I have done both. This particular one I started showing you a couple of weeks ago. This is the fabric that I made, bought from lovely Ruth, who is seamstressed here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And this is the gorgeous fabric itself. It's got all this gorgeous texture on it. It's a cotton, and you can see that I've kept this relatively simple. So you do have the options of pin tucks across the top and pin tucks on the arms. I've left those off. You also have an option of a flutter across the sleeve. I never do that for some reason, or even though it would proportion my body out being pear-shaped, I am very narrow up here. I don't like having flutters to exaggerate, even though if you actually took a photo of me with the flutter on, it would align my body to have that kind of perfect hourglass body, but for some reason I just don't like it, so I don't do it. The only thing I have added is the ruffle. I love a ruffle across the top of here. That Victorian neckline I really like. Now, I haven't had a chance to take any pictures of this. I've literally just taken it out of the bag, you can see, because it needs ironing. But I did get Sam from Let's Sparkle with Sam, took a picture of me in it. And I will pop that in here so you can see. The only thing that I did different was I made this pattern piece a little bit wider just to give a bit more volume in the sleeve, and because of the amount of fabric I had, this is actually bracelet length, not full length, which is fine because I always sort of push it back up, and I've given it a thicker cuff as well. I've used a Jazz and Wow button. This is the typical button that I always use, and I didn't take any with me, and these were on my pop-up stand that I took with me on Saturday. So I really love the way that this looks, and I made that at the retreat. So let me tell you about this. This is a sewing retreat that was organised by the lovely Katie, who is Whatever Katie Sews. It was a weekend from the Friday through to the Monday, and it was held in Shropshire. Now, I was lucky enough to be invited the very first time it all came up, and I couldn't go. I couldn't go because it was my mum's birthday weekend. And then when we all went to Focktails, I had serious FOMO. Adele was going, and I really, really, really wanted to go. And Katie just said, well, come for the day. And I said, okay, that's great. And then she said, do you want me to see if they've got any rooms? And I was like, yes, please. Because my mum, we weren't doing what we were originally going to do for my mum's birthday. So I knew that I could see her the weekend before. So I was like, oh, maybe I could go. Anyway, my mum ended up having an operation date come through in that time, which meant that I would probably be there, need to be there to look after her. So we went back to me going for the day, and then somebody else that was going was potentially considering not going, and they offered me their spot if I wanted it. And I think they're really glad that they did go and that I wasn't able to take it, because my mum's op then got cancelled, and I was like, I really could go. I really could do this. I could go and enjoy the weekend. And then realised that this funeral kicked in on the Friday, and then my daughter had a play on a Sunday. So it was just, nothing was wanting me to be able to make it to the whole event. I had FOMO the whole weekend, but I'm so pleased I got to go and spend a day there. Now, when I went, it was full of lots of people and faces that you will know. They'll all have vlogs out. So the lovely Adam Sews, Rachel French Seams. I met Catherine from Soberton Makery for the first time, and I have been so looking forward to meeting her because I seem to miss her at all the shows, and she's just as lovely in person as she is on her vlogs. I got to see the lovely Angela from Devon Thread Tales again. Now, Angela, we went to Scottish Frock Tales with. We met up again at the Knitting and Stitching show, and I can just see her being a lifelong friend because she's just this amazing woman. As is Katie. Katie is definitely a lifelong friend, and I get the luxury of seeing Katie again at the Thurklow Weekender sewing retreat that I'm doing at the end of January. So yeah, saw all of those people as well as many more. So Sam from Let's Sparkle with Sam, Nadia from Stitch and Style by Nadia, and the list goes on. And I know that I'll forget people, so I'm just not going to say anybody else's name, apart from, of course, my lovely Adele from Sofa Serenity was also there. So it was really, really nice. I got to go and spend the day. It took me 2 hours to get there in the morning. I left at about 7:30. Got there, set up my little sewing area. There was a table there for me. I took a Jazz and Wow pop-up shop with me as well and popped that up for everybody to have a look at. And I thought, because I'd already started some of this, that I would have this done by sort of midday and I'll be on to my next project. And yeah, no, that didn't happen. I spent a lot of time talking. I really, really, really enjoyed the day. Now, whilst I was there, we also had a lady come in and do our colours, and I'll pop her name across the screen because I can't remember who the company was that came in. Now, there are a couple of different ways that people do colours. This particular lady did them in season, so it was slightly different to the one that Adele had done, so I knew what her colours were. And I've always had a good idea as to what my colours are, what I can actually wear and what I can wear well, what I can put up against my face, what I may need to combine on the bottom half of my body to feel better in that fabric. I know that because my clothes tend to reflect my mood as well. So I wasn't particularly expecting any revelations. I had an idea of what season I was. There are obviously different versions of that season, and I knew that I would probably find out what kind of version I fitted into that season. And I had a couple of questions about the way I contrast colour. But it wasn't a surprise. But I am so pleased that I had it done. I don't regret paying for it to be done. I'm still waiting for my report to come through, and I'm really looking forward to getting my report through, because that'll obviously give me more information than I walked away with. Now, my season came out as a true winter. Now, I found it wasn't this company that I used that I'm using the picture for, but I found this on because it was the best way of showing you what my colours fit into. I'm sure that anybody that's been watching my channel for a long time will see that there is nothing on there that is a surprise, apart from the yellow, because I never wear yellow. And she basically said that you kind of need to go for the neons, the real brights, to get them to work for me, which was something I kind of knew when it came to yellow and orange for that matter. So we talked about how I should have contrast, and actually at one point, because I have a fringe and I did have my fringe down on the day, it's just so long and it really needs cutting, and I've made it so wonky from how many times I've cut myself, resisting the urge to go up to Adam and go, please will you just trim my fringe properly so it doesn't look bad. I did resist the urge doing that to him, because bless him, he was away on his retreat. He did not need me to ask him to do that for me. But yeah, I had my fringe, and she said, you know, that fringe just elevates the contrast. So when I wear my bold lipsticks and the colours that I wear, she said I need to wear like a real high contrast so I can mix and match the contrast of my clothing. So that was an interesting experience for me, and I did learn a couple of nuggets, and I learned that I can wear burgundy. There was a shade of brown that I didn't know that I could wear, and it looks very much like burgundy, which was really nice, a purpley kind of brown colour. I didn't think I could do that, and I actually liked it when it was held against my face. And the other thing I took away from that was, I know I can wear green, but I forgot that I can wear emerald green, and I forgot how much I like emerald green next to me. So again, that was really good and reaffirming just to know these things. So the other thing that happened at the retreat was I got a top. So the lovely Katie, who is whatever Katie Sews here on Instagram, made a Whitcomb top, which she didn't actually like. She just didn't like the way it sits on her. And Katie's actually smaller than me in body sense, but she is taller than me as well. And I think we worked this out. It's that her length in body that's probably the reason that she doesn't like this on her where I like it on me. So if I can get a photo of me in this, I will do, and I'll pop it in here. But this is a top that Katie has made. It's the Whitcomb top by So Love Patterns, which is a woven fabric with cuffing on the sleeves and cuffing along the top. She's done a much better job of how she top stitches that down. That's ever so neat. I never do anything like that. I love it when I see somebody else do that. I'm going to stick a label in it. I'm going to try and find an appropriate label to stick in it as well. But I think a label in it just to make it feel would be really good. But thank you so much for that, Katie, because I really love it and it fits me just fine. So they were the things that I had to share with you. Now, I have actually started another project. I did get another project started, and what you can't see at the moment, but below my feet, there is a sea, an absolute sea of sequins. Can you hear my dogs fighting outside this room? They're doing my head in. There is a sea of sequins on my floor because it's 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. I hadn't pulled together any projects, and I decided that I was going to chop up my Christmas outfit, which is in this gorgeous fabric here. How beautiful is that? It's a black velvet with sequins all over it. And I am making the Deer and Doe Sirocco jumpsuit. So I did get quite a bit done. I'm just trying to see if I've got the pieces that I got done, or is that, no, that's the arms. Yeah, so I got quite a bit done for the top. So I pulled all the top section together because I was there till about 7 o'clock. And at the moment I've pinned in all the waistband. But this is the top of my Sirocco. You can see it's coming together nicely. I've done a sway back on this because the one that Adele gave me, because it's the only other one that I own. She'd done a sway back on it and it fits me perfectly. And one of the things I've purposely done is I've used the salvage edge for this bit here. Now, it wasn't the stretchiest, so I did lengthen it a little bit just to make sure, because obviously I'm going to have to get in and out of this, and I know that's going to cause me a few issues. But the reason that I did that was it deliberately looks like I've kind of put a little bit of a neckline on it, and then on the inside it's going to be a lot more comfortable against my skin than having the sequins go against my skin, because that would have just irritated me. So that was the reason why. So I've got that much done of the Sirocco jumpsuit. There's still a lot to go on it, and I will get on with it, and that'll be my project this weekend for my sewing social. And that's it. That's an update on where I am at with my sewing. Now, what I will say is I have got some fabric winging its way to me from Fabric Godmother, because I couldn't resist it. And I did end up investing in the Fabric Godmother calendar. I've been umming and ahhing about it. So for the last couple of years, obviously I watch other vloggers that do their vlogmas, and I know that most people tend to be disappointed when they or there seems to be a common theme of disappointment when they do their Fabric Godmother unboxings for how much you pay for it. But this week she has had a Black Friday sale, and I think at a discounted price I was willing to take the risk, because I wanted to give it a go, just to see. I'm not going to have any regrets for doing it either. I've paid a discounted price. I've got that one, and now my Kylie and the Machines one. And it's nice because it means I've got two, and then I will also have another calendar. So I will have 3 calendars this year. My third one will be Adele's. So Adele and I have done each other calendars. I've actually got hers here. I have a couple more just to put in this. So they're the last few numbers that I've got left. But this is Adele's calendar. Now, I bought this bag from a craft fair that I was doing, and it's just got like these transfers on it, and I just think it's so cute. I know, being a sewist, I could make her a bag, but yeah, she's just not that lucky, I'm afraid. So yeah, that is Adele's calendar that I'm doing nicely, and we're going to exchange these on Saturday. She's coming with the lovely Alice actually to my social, just so we can exchange these, because she's got her daughter and she can't escape, and we're roping my eldest in to come down and grab her daughter to do a bit of babysitting so she can enjoy some of the day as well with us lot. So hopefully that goes swimmingly. So yeah, I'll have 3 calendars to share with you, and the next time I'm going to see you after this is actually, is it Sunday? What have we got for date wise? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Yes, there is 30 days in November. I should know that. So yeah, we are going to see you on Sunday for the first day of Vlogmas, which will actually be quite nice because Sunday is not a work day, which means I can gently ease myself into this daily filming again. And you might get some decent content from me because it's a Sunday. So I do always tend to find time to get a bit of sewing done. I will be doing a bit of all of my crafts on Sunday. I'll be doing a bit of work on Jazz and Wow. I will be doing a bit of sewing, and then I'll be doing the housework and all the other normal stuff that we do at home on a Sunday. So that is everything from me this week. Please let me know in the comments what you've been up to. I love hearing from you, love hearing what you're doing. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And I will catch you all for Vlogmas in a completely different format to what we've been working in recently. I'll see you all soon. Bye.